Good evening, everybody. This is Trilo, and today we're going to talk about automating KYC process using artificial intelligence. So, I'm from Bytech, and we actually deliver products for a lot of our customers, and we have delivered to almost like 100 customers with 130 products and solutions for them over the span of like 12 years. And we have made few open source contributions. And about me, I am Trilok, and I work as a data engineer and a mentor with an experience on artificial intelligence and cloud framework. So let's go to the agenda today. So what are we talking about is this today. We'll talk about some introduction on KYC process and who needs this KYC processes and what is the current process and how should we actually automate this or why should we actually automate this current process and what are the drawbacks in this particular process and what is the solution to overcome all that. Okay, what is the modernized solution to overcome all that? And yes, what exactly a KYC automation does inside your application or inside your flow completely. Okay, so this KYC automation can be a small part of the whole big picture. Okay, let's see that in a sequential manner, and we'll see a small demo as well. We'll see a small demo as well on KYC automation. Yes. So let's talk about this. So customer due diligence. We're talking about this KYC. Customer due diligence is like the important like aspect over here, where we can automate the KYC process using some deep learning techniques, deep learning techniques, and artificial intelligence techniques using CV-based algorithms, computer vision-based algorithms actually. Okay, and familiarize. Let's actually talk more about these terminologies like CDD, customer due diligence, AML, anti-money laundering, and all that. And these all terminologies are under this banking and financial sectors. Okay, banking and financial sectors basically. So customer due diligence involves in verifying that are uh, our customers are who they say, addressing the risks associated with each customer, like possibilities of fraud, money laundering, terror financing, and all that. So, like whenever you have some customer, we need to identify whether the customer is doing any such kind of illegal activities and verify his credentials by his address, phone number, or any other details like PAN, Aadhaar details, and his electricity details and all that. So are they blacklisted or not? We need to identify. So whenever a particular company is trying to provide uh, some kind of assistance or some kind of product to a particular customer, yes, these are all to be like verified before you grant it. And anti-money laundering. While talking about the anti-money laundering, it refers to the laws and regulations which are and the processes that are to be like met to prevent criminals from using your services, using the services of a particular organization. Okay, so and this particular money laundering can involve of like tax evasions, selling illegal goods in the and market manipulations. All the stock market fraud and all these things are also a part of your anti-money laundering activities and corruption of some public funds. So this is one thing that we need to actually regulate when we're talking about the KYC process. And the other important thing is like know your business. So know your business or KYB, we call it as KYB, and this is AML. Okay, KYB, know your business. It involves in vetting out the business, trying to establish relationship between a bank, determining the ultimate business owners, UBO. Okay, so and enforcing the compliance by assessing the risk associated with the business. Actually, okay. So this is to identify the credentials of a particular business owner. This is to identify the credentials of a particular business owner uh, and, and understand or validate his business credentials for you to provide the service or for you to ensure a service from him. Okay. So these are some of the important terminologies or important things that you need to take care while you actually do your KYC process. Okay. And who needs the KYC? Okay, or who are supposed to do this KYC? All the banking and credit institutions. All the banking and credit institutions are supposed to do this. Like you might have seen, like, when you go to the bank and bank will ask you to provide some documents like your Aadhaar card, your PAN card, your address proof, a lot of things. So they'll try to extract information and try to understand who you are here, basically. Okay, they try to extract and understand who you are, basically. So they require the KYC to be done. And one important thing is like the credit institutions, people who are trying to give you some loans. Okay, they are also like supposed to verify who their customers are and check if they're doing any kind of fraudulent transactions, or if they're trying to just run away taking out the loans and all, like the repayment issues and all. So they need to understand who their customer are and what is his behavior inside the market. So for that, they require eKYC and all the e-payment services. Okay, you need to register yourself. For example, these days, Paytm, all these kind of people are asking about your KYC being done and giving you some wallet limits and all. Yes. So e-payment services, everybody requires it, and bookmakers and casinos. So all these involve these people also involve in a lot of money transactions. So they're required to keep their customers' data with them, and legal professionals to provide you proper legal support to understand your credential while doing some legal based activities. So yeah, they are supposed to do. And real estate agents, yes, this is one very important place where a lot of money transaction happens. Like, you can talk about the black money, white money in most of this sector itself. So this is one place where KYC is to be done explicitly. And your tax advisors and tax accountants, the people who process your tax will actually try to understand who you are to process your data. Okay, so these are the places that a KYC process is like to be implemented in a fair manner. Now, what is the current process that is being involved? What is the current process that is being involved? Okay, the current process is involving like taking these documents, passports, PAN cards, Aadhaar cards, driving license, some utility bills, some kinds of utility bills like electricity bill or a gas bill, or some, it used to be a telephone bill earlier as well. So yeah, taking these electricity bills into consideration, and any other documents also, such like um, some land documents like your rental agreements and all that, they are also considered as KYC process documents. So these are the documents required for the KYC process, and the process is actually done in two ways. The process is done in two ways. One is online and the other is offline. So online, how is it happening in online? Okay, for example, let's take Ola as an example. Ola Cabs. Okay, what is Ola Cabs doing over here? Ola Cabs is actually trying to is actually asking you to upload your information on their portal or on the app that they have, and try to read the information and ask you to submit the documents to the chauffeur or the driver that comes to pick you up while you book your cab. So this is the process, and here chauffeur or driver actually verifies the documents with the data that you have provided on the app, and checks your photograph manually and then does this. Okay, so there is no such kind of automation here to verify the process. This is like they're collecting the documents online and they're trying to verify the documents manually. As simple as that. So there is no proper automation present over here. Okay, and for example, you take up the offline process. So getting a new SIM card. Getting a new SIM card is the point here. So when you want a new SIM card or you want a new number, what do? You generally go to your store and you try to fill a form, put your photograph over there. You try to attest that particular photograph, and this document is carried to someone else. The shopkeeper will tell you like in 2 to 3 hours your work will be done, or it takes 2 days of time for you to get your SIM card active. And he tries to actually, a person sitting manually will actually read these documents, understand them. He'll get a phone call, verify the details. A lot of manual entry is being done here. So this way, like a lot of manual intervention is required in an offline process. Okay, so these are like two classic examples of how the process is being done currently in most of the places, and like most of the places. So why should we automate? Okay, what is the reason, or what is the main intention to automate this particular part? First thing is definitely the financial inclusion. Okay, the financial inclusion. Sorry, yeah. Why should you automate is like these three reasons. These three can be like some major reasons for you to go with something like an automation. Uh, so there are a lot of people where they don't have their documents, proper documents sometimes, or they reach out to some persons uh, where the other person can do probably do some fraudulent activity, like storing their credentials with them and trying to create fake proofs, and getting creating a lot of nuisance again and again. Okay, so this way there can be a fraud happening. Okay, and these people might not be in a position to actually get themselves verified at point of times. Okay, so we are supposed to include these people as well with a proper process. Okay, with a proper process. So that's where it comes, the financial inclusion part. Okay, the people who cannot or who do not have proper documentation should be also included into the process, and to identify their credentials for a better business strategies. Okay, so and data privacy is one important thing to prevent these particular frauds as well. So under data privacy, there are like a lot of rules that comply between different organizations. When you're trying to collect some personal information, when you're trying to collect some information about uh, information about this, like a lot of sensitive information, like the Aadhaar card numbers, the PAN card numbers, and all. You are supposed to comply with some rules and regulations. You are supposed to, you are bound to some rules and regulations of RBI, or if you go with the European countries, you have this concept of GDPR. You have the concept of GDPR. Okay, so and these kinds of organizations levy a lot of fine if your data is like not compiled or complied with the norms that they adopt. Okay, so these are some of the reasons. Okay, these are some of the reasons to have such kind of automation basically. And what is the current process lagging? Okay, it's actually lagging the speed. Okay, for example, government of India introduces a new scheme today, and that's like benefiting like a lot of people. Like let us suppose like 25 crore people it is beneficiating. Okay, like 1/4 of the population of India, it's trying to benefit are the beneficiaries of that. Let us suppose. Okay, and that particular scheme requires some kind of documentation. Okay, now the process of KYC is not automated. Okay, there is no process of KYC, let us suppose. And what happens now? Okay, there should be a manual person sitting and understanding the documents and verifying those documents. Okay, which affects the speed of this particular process. It takes a lot of time to actually verify these documents and check whether the person is eligible to avail that scheme or not. Okay, so there comes the speed and the quality. When you talk about uh, when you talk about quality, yeah, when you type something, there can be a lot of uh, there can be a lot of mistakes that can populate. Okay, typos that can happen, or you might miss some fields. Okay, the data you enter might not be correct. Sometimes we have seen like Sachin Tendulkar getting his Aadhaar card in some village in Andhra Pradesh. Okay, so or Amitabh Bachchan getting his PAN card somewhere in Rajasthan kind of places. Okay, so these are some possible kinds of quality issues that that can undergo. Okay, so we need to tackle this. Okay, which is like prevailing in the current system now, and error and fraud preventions. Okay, again we spoke about error already, like and the fraud as well. Okay, the fraud is like storing your current data with at someone's place who is not authorized to store, and probably he might draw some metrics or he might do some illegal activities again, and all that. And all these comprise to the integrity of this particular organization, or of like the organization which is who is trying to actually use your records of data. So what is the solution for this? What is the solution for this? So you need to actually do an automated quality check of the images. Okay. First, you need to identify whether the image that is provided or the document that is provided is of having the good quality or not. Is it a fake document or is it a correct document? Okay, that is something that we need to do. And next is verifying the credentials of particular user. Okay? Verifying the credentials of the particular user. So when you create a document, yeah, this can be one more instance of wrongly made PAN cards and other cards. Like you get a PAN number and you try to verify with the RBI credentials and try to understand whether this PAN number is valid with the standards or not, and if it is having some credential or not. Okay, that is something about the automatic verification, and automate the fraud detection as well. So when you in this particular fraud detection, we can apply some machine learning algorithms. Like we can apply some machine learning algorithms over here to understand like anomalies that are happening. Okay, we can apply some anomaly detection algorithms to understand the process or understand how the particular user is trying to move in the market. Okay, his financial what do you call, like his financial movements in the market basically, and understand whether he's trying to fraud or whether he's default the particular bank after taking the loan and all. Okay, and this all terms to be like automate document digitization. So you have all these documents in one wallet at one place, and try to like uh, use it for your further processes as well. Okay, so this is like a probable solution that you can create. And what is this KYC automation? What is this KYC automation? So this involves in like a set of or a group of approaches where you have some RPA process implementation. So KYC process cannot be a standalone thing. You cannot simply create one process for a KYC and leave it. It should be with multiple things. Okay, then only you can automate it whole as a process. So for that, we have these three things here. We can use a robotic process automation. We can use intelligent document processing and artificial intelligence. In RPA, you actually have a bot. Okay, you actually have a bot which moves from the process, moves in between the processes basically. Okay, and this RPA bot can perform. For example, there is an insurance claim. There is an insurance claim, and you have an RPA system enabled for your insurance claim, let us suppose. Okay. Now, what happens is the insurance bot here, comes into picture, tries to read the document. Okay, it tries to take the insurance document into consideration. It tries to take the incident into consideration. What is the incident that's happening, and the customer credentials again. Okay, there are three documents here for us. There are three documents here. One is the insurance document, and second is the incident picture, and the third is client credentials. Okay, there are three things here. So this insurance document will actually give the details of the person, like when he had done this kind of insurance. Okay, when did he do this particular insurance, and what is his claim capability, all these things. And next is the incident picture. For example, the car has met with an accident. Okay, so a picture will be reported to this particular place, and the client credentials, whether this person matches with the documentation that he has earlier submitted or not. So these are the three pictures, three things that are being captured. Now the bot will try to capture all this and send this particular documents to the intelligent document processing unit. Okay, so Now what happens is this intelligent document processing place will try to read the information, try to understand the information, then try to analyze the picture, try to analyze the incident picture, and from there it tries to calculate the amount, or we can use this artificial intelligence enough to calculate, the amount that can be dispersed for this particular uh, for this particular client, basically. Okay, so this way we can actually automate the whole insurance system without a manual intervention, or probably let's be like very true, it can reduce at least like 90% of the manual work. Okay, and the client or the person, the insurer need not go and talk to a lot of people and understand like what's happening in between. Okay, so all this process can be listed and documented or showed in a portal for people to check where the process is now. Okay, so this can go up to like 90% of 90%, or this can reduce up to like 90% of your manual effort, basically. Okay, so, and what are the benefits of this KYC automation? Okay, it can reduce costs. It can reduce costs up to like 70%. Okay, because you need to employ people at a lot of places. With that, with employing people at a lot of places, you can simply employ a bot, one simple RPA bot which does this KYC automation for you. So that will give you that will reduce your cost now. Okay, it will just go with the infrastructure cost rather than your people cost. Okay, and increase in efficiency. Yeah, if a person is able to verify one credential in like 10 minutes, you can simply verify those credentials in like 10 seconds on a bot, on a KYC automation system. So it can run 24/7. You can't have one person sitting and running 24/7. You need to have a lot of people, shifts and all. Okay, when some person comes somewhere in the midnight for a service, yeah, he's blocked in. Okay, so if you have it automated, yes, the person who comes for a service is not really blocked at that particular time. And minimize the risk. Yes, your data loss or the data theft or the integrity of your data is like prevailed or preserved. Okay, it is stored in proper servers. You can store that in the proper servers without people handling it manually at their ends. And scalability, when such kind of services of government introducing new kind of services with KYC is required, you need not employ manual people. You can simply scale up the servers that you have, which is doing the KYC automation. So yeah, things will like speed up fast. And improved customer experience. Yes, I want to book a bike in the midnight. I want to travel to some place. I want to book a bike in Hyderabad. Yeah, I can go scan the code and do it quickly, submitting my driving license and all uh, to the vendors like Gogo and all. Okay, if they have implemented this KYC automation, yeah, within a minute or two, I'll be able to unlock a bike and use it. If not, again, I need to wait for the approval. That means it can go probably on the next working day. Okay, until when I cannot really utilize the services. Okay, and yeah, people will be like relieved from their actual work, the manual verification process, and they can work on some really good capacities, basically. Okay, so this is like something about your KYC automation. Okay, what is happening and how can we do it, and what are the benefits of KYC automation? Now, let's actually go with a small demo. Okay, let's actually go with the small demo. I request Hitesh to actually present his screen. Hitesh, would you be able to present your screen? Guys, meanwhile, any questions you may please ask me.
You will have to stop your screen share and then I'll be able to share.
Yes, Hitesh, I have stopped it.
Yes, all right. So I hope my screen is visible.
Yes. Guys, any questions? You may put it in the chat section. I'm good to answer meanwhile. We'll see a small demo. We'll take a minute of break and we'll see this particular demo and see like what is the tech involved in this. Okay, assuming no questions, but please keep populating the questions on the Q&A section. So this is one simple portal, or it's like a system where you can upload your documents and you can read your KYC data here that we have developed. It's a part of the whole big picture. It's a small part of the whole big picture actually. So Hitesh will actually help me upload few pictures right now and try to generate some details. Let's upload one PAN card itself, maybe for now, and see uploaded, and how fast we have like extracted the information from this particular PAN card. Okay, so there's one. Hitesh, can you upload a couple of more as well? PAN card and another card in a combination. Yeah, see, for the other card as well, we were like able to generate some data. This this other card looks really not good, but still we were able to like generate some data out of it. Yeah, 6574393. Yeah, and uh, so we were able to define what this card is, and we were able to extract the name, father name, and the date of birth, which is a primary thing, and the PAN card details as well from the documents. Okay. So I mean, the application looks simple, but the behind engineering is like the real thing. Okay, the engineering behind this is the real thing. Okay. Uh, okay. So how did we create this? Hitesh, can you please open the code for me? This application is a basic Django, Python-based Django application. Okay, and we consumed API from Google here. Okay, we try to use the Google OCR. So this application is actually divided into two parts. This application is divided into two parts basically. Just give me 1 second. This application is basically divided into two parts. One is extraction of OCR. Let's keep like this: extraction of OCR and extraction of data. Extracting data. These are the two things. So for extraction of OCR, optical character recognition, we have actually leveraged Google Cloud Vision APIs. We will also let you know like how did we create a Google Cloud Vision API and all that part. Hitesh, could you please scroll down to Google Read, Google OCR? Yes. So this is a place where we try to extract the Google Cloud data. This is the place we have set up base URL for this and uploaded. We have sent the image. Scroll down a little bit, please. We have sent the URL here. We have created the image URL as like shown here and uploaded in the format of a header, and the header is sent as a request to the Google Vision API, and the Google Vision API gave us enough amount of data from the respective PAN card or Aadhaar card. Yeah, so we got the data over here under JSON OCR data, OCR responses. So we got data from there. Yeah, I see some hand raised. Could you please ask a question in the chat or in the Q&A section? Yeah, I'll come back to you to answer. Okay. So once we have got the data, we did the basic amount of pattern matching and regular expression matching to extract relevant information. Hitesh, could you please scroll down? So when you observe such kind of details, they are mostly present in this PAN card. Okay, so the income tax department or account, permanent, all these things are actually present on a PAN card basically. Okay, so we try to identify whether it is a PAN card or an Aadhaar card or any other card in that way, and from there we try to extract the information in a regular expression based manner. And similarly for the Aadhaar card as well. Similarly for the Aadhaar card as well. Okay. Any questions in this? Any questions in this? I'll wait for like 2 more minutes to take up questions here. No questions? Okay, all right. So this way, and let's actually now see how did we create a Google Vision API and what is the Google Vision API capable of? And here you can take any kind of you can rely on any kind of cloud provider for your Vision APIs. Okay, you can go with Azure, Microsoft Azure. If you have Azure credentials or your company provides you Azure credentials, you can go with Azure. If you are good with Google or your company works a lot of things or relies on Google Cloud, you may go with Google Cloud there. Or if your company works on the AWS infrastructures, then you can go with AWS. Okay. You have AWS Test Direct over there in AWS, and Google Vision APIs and GCP, Google Cloud Platform, and Azure gives you Microsoft cognitive services basically. Okay, the Vision APIs under the cognitive services. And Hitesh, could you please project your okay? So we come here to the Google Cloud Platform. You will get some relevant amount of credits as well for for using a Google Cloud Platform under a free trial basically. So you can come here, create an account, and you'll get something around like 20,000 rupees for 90 days, so that you can experiment over the Google Cloud. So this you need not really go for a paid version. You can use your debit cards as well to create this. Okay. And inside this, you can create a project. Hitesh, could you go and click on my first project on the top? Yes. You can come here, create a project. This a project is already created for us. And if at all you want, you can go and use this new project on the top and create a small project. And this project can hold any kind of infrastructure inside it. This project can hold any kind of infrastructure in it. Okay, this is a place where you can come and create a new project basically. Okay, so this can hold any kind of infrastructure. Could you please click on cancel? Yes, all right. Okay. Now, in this, our aim is to create an API, create a Google Cloud Vision API. Okay. So for this, we need to come into API and services. We need to come here at this API and services and create a credential here. Create a credential here. Okay. Create a credential here. And this credentials, for this, we have used an API key. Okay, just an API key. With the REST API, we were able to like extract data. So we click on create credentials now, and we use the API key. We use the API key to create the APIs. And this is the key. Probably you can, the key gets generated over here. You can simply copy it here, and you can use it in your application. So Hitesh, could you please project the code and go to the Google Cloud Vision API? Scroll up. Yeah, just see, you can observe there is a Google Cloud Vision API like this, which is having vision.googleapis.com v1 images, and annotate key is equals to some key over here. Okay, so this key like can be used for extracting information, and this whole is the base URL for you now. And this base URL along with the image URL form, base URL along with the image URL form, and some data headers. Okay, so this contains the source image and some features that have to be extracted. Could you please scroll down with this little? Yeah, see, the features that we require are text detection. Okay, we try to identify the text inside it. So is sent to the Google APIs. Okay, using a post request, we are sending it, and we are trying to collect the response here. Okay, now this response is being passed. Okay, we are trying to parse this particular response and try to understand which kind of card it is and what kind of information is present in it with some kind of regular expression matching kind of data. Okay, try to understand a pattern of PAN card and try to extract the data of the PAN card. Okay, so this is what we do inside for extracting PAN card or Aadhaar card kind of informations. Okay, so Could you please go to the Google page once again, Hitesh, and click on this Google Cloud Platform, the top. So could you please scroll down? No, on the left. On the left, yeah. See, you can actually take some virtual machines. You can create some cloud functions. You can use some storages over here. Okay, all these things are like pretty much possible to, or you can create on the Google Cloud itself and try to understand them and this way. Okay, and if at all you plan to do it using Microsoft services, Hitesh, could you please open Azure portal? Portal.azure.com. You can go with portal.azure.com. All right, thank you. So you can also use Azure to identify like what can I mean to actually identify the text from Azure. So you can click on create a resource. You can click on create a resource to create one new resource here, and from there you can go with AI plus machine learning. You can go with AI plus machine learning and go with computer vision APIs. Go with computer vision APIs and create an API here. Okay, you're supposed to fill this particular small form and create an API. Hitesh, could you please quickly fill this? No spaces, please. Yeah, create. Now click on create. So this takes like a couple of minutes, not more than that. Yeah, done. You can go to the resource now, or go to resource from here. It's all right. Please scroll down. There is a computer vision API.
Hello.
Yes, go to this again. Yeah, cognitive services. This one.
Where is it? Okay.
Okay. Now, one second. You can. There is something called keys and endpoints over here. Keys and endpoints. So you have keys here, and you have an endpoint here. Okay, and the location is East US. You can use one of the key. You need not use two keys for sending the request to extract information and all. You can use just one key, and you can like do a REST call again. Okay, sending the image and all. Could you please go to quick start once? Yeah. And in the quick start, you have Python quick start. So this is a documentation like how do you need to consume at in various languages basically. Okay, so scroll down a little. Scroll down. You'll find the REST API. Still more. Still. Okay. Fine. Just go. Wait. One second. Go down. Of code examples. See, observe here. You're supposed to install a Python package here, and the Python package is configuring you with your cognitive service credentials and the subscription key. That means this is your authorization token. Okay? It is trying to validate your token here, and then analyzing the image. Can you just scroll down a little? Okay, you're specifying some image URL here, and from there, scroll down. You'll do the call, REST call, and get the image details over here. Okay, so your Python package is actually doing a lot of things for you. It is trying to authenticate you with your subscription key in the previous steps, and you're storing the image URL at a place, and you're trying to send it using a function called describe image, and that describe function is giving you some results. Okay? And that describe function is actually giving you some results, and these results that these are the results that you need to understand or analyze before you populate. Okay, so this is from both Google and Azure Cloud basically. Okay, so any questions in this? Any questions in this part? Okay, no questions. All right. So Hitesh, could you please stop sharing? Yeah. So if you have any questions, you're good to ask, or please write to savvy@bytez.com. We're good to answer. And thank you so much for your time. We'll be waiting for a couple of more minutes for you to ask the questions if you have any. Thank you. Yeah, Shlok, any questions from your end? You can probably ask in the chat. Yes. To summarize, we have seen like the traditional process of KYC, which is happening. We have seen the drawbacks of manual KYC process, and we have seen like why is it necessary for us to adopt to like an automation of KYC. We have seen some insurance agency like have KYC is being done with an insurance agency automatically, or including automation into a insurance based KYC. And we have seen a small demo, which talks about like how do you extract data, and we have seen a place where to create a computer vision API from Google Cloud Platform and a computer vision API from Microsoft Azure. So this summarizes today's webinar. If you have questions, you may reach out to savvy@bytedge.com anytime. And if you're interested in working with us, yeah, you can come back to careers at my careers Bytedge. Okay, bytedge.com/careers. Thank you so much. If you have questions, please reach out to savvy@bytedge.com. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.